Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jamie and this is Let's Talk About It. So today I am here with the evolution of the ragdoll afterthoughts. Last year I came out with a 3-part series called The Evolution of the Ragdoll, and it was just a collection of my ragdolls, and I will put it right here if you want to watch that before you want to watch this, but you don't need to watch that before you watch this. So in the last year, I have accumulated 33 ragdolls. I just grab them whenever I see them. So I've decided to split them up into 3 videos. And today's video is titled Afterthoughts. It's the dolls that I had in my mind for the last video, but I didn't own them yet. So let's get into this. Okay, so first up is, I call them my him and her dolls. And I found these 2 crocheted dolls at a yard sale. And I said I need them in my collection because I do not have a knitted doll. And I must say, these knitted dolls are made so well, and I love the design on their clothes. We'll start with her first. She has some yellow yarn hair, some button eyes, which is cute. And you got the little pocket over there. So the word crochet in French means hook, and crocheting originated as a modern art form in the mid-1820s, becoming most popular in England. But there is so much history behind crocheting. It is all over the world. Japan, England, and then it came over to America. It was a political statement for women when women didn't really have a voice, and it taught girls how to knit their own clothes when you taught them how to make their own dollies, and it made socks and gloves and sweaters. So it was a very practical hobby to learn for yourself. And this guy right here I'm showing you has a little bit more wear and tear than the girl, as you can see, but how cute are they? And I'm just so happy to have them in my collection. Just to know somebody made that and somebody created that out of their mind, I love it. Next, we have the Jack and Jill panel dolls by McCrory Corporation, and they are called Your Own Huggable Rag Doll. That's how they were marketed when they were new in box. And the McCrory's was a chain of 5 and dime stores in the United States, based in York, Pennsylvania. The stores typically sold shoes, clothing, housewares, fabrics, penny candy, cosmetics, and toys, and often included a lunch corner or snack bar. They also exclusively sold Oriole Records, one of the most popular dime store labels from 1921 to 1938. The owner, John Graham McCrory, had a lot of success after opening his store in 1882. However, in 1933, the company filed for bankruptcy, and Kmart took over much of the merchandise until Target and Walmart sealed both of their fates. So this is the Jill doll, and I love panel dolls. I think they're really, really cute. They always have a painted on face. Most of them do. Some of them will have the embroidery, but most panel dolls have the painted on face because it's like printed fabric and then it's cut. But look at the little bangs. I love the micro bangs and her little gingham pattern outfit. It's got a simple little apron on with a collar. And it's funny, the story about these two. I found her first at my local Savers. And Savers is a thrift store. And it's up the street from me. So every time I have some money, extra cash, I'll go in there and see if there's any cool dolls or something. So I went in and I found her and I was like, oh my gosh, she's so cute. But I guess I didn't dig good enough because the next time I went, he was in the back and I was like, how did I miss him? Was he here the whole time? without his Jill. Oh my goodness, I was like a little shook that I left him there. He has a little spots there, as you can see. Can you imagine how happy I was when I found the Jack to the Jill? So yeah, and he has the red material, and she has the blue. Now, I did look up others. They're not very popular. I couldn't find a lot of them, but they are out there, and there's a couple of them that have different patterns. So they don't all look alike, but they kind of look the same as far as the face goes. But yeah, so that is my Jack and Jill panel dolls, and I think these guys are from the 1950s. I couldn't get the exact date, but that's what other people put on their listings when I went and found them on like eBay and Mercari. But yeah. Next is my American Spirit We the People ragdoll by Hallmark. And this particular girl is the 1979 Betsy Ross. So Hallmark was founded in 1910 by an 18-year-old named Joyce Clyde Hall. And he stepped off a train in Kansas City, Missouri, with nothing but 2 shoe boxes of postcards under his arm and no money, but he had a very entrepreneurial spirit. And he quickly made a name for himself by selling his postcards on the streets. He quickly realized that people had a desire to communicate in privacy with like an envelope and a card. So he partnered up with his brother and came out with the company Hallmark. And in 1979, he came out with the Bicentennial Ragdoll Collection, focusing on famous American pioneers and their brief history. And today we have Betsy Ross. Elizabeth Grissom Ross was an American upholsterer who was credited by her relatives in 1870 with making the first official U.S. flag known as the Betsy Ross flag with only 13 stars. I really love this girl. She's small. I love small dolls. The stick on the flag is still intact. If you find her, a lot of the times the flag is broken. So I'm very happy to have her in my collection. Okay, so next we have the Campbell Soup Kid. The Campbell Soup Kids are the advertising cartoon mascot of the Campbell Soup Company. Drawn by Grace Drayton in 1904, the characters became popular almost immediately, leading to the production of dolls, cookbooks, cards, plates, t-shirts, and much more. Their marketing strategy was to appeal to children. At that point, the company's name was still called Joseph Campbell Company. And Grace Drayton's husband actually recommended her drawings to Campbell since she was drawing these kids for years. The company used 16 different kids she designed. In 1905, the first appearing on the sides of the streetcars and magazines, and they became a phenomenon. First in black and white and then later in color. The company Horseman ended up getting the license to make the dolls, and they were so popular, later companies scrambled for the rights. Selling in stores such as Montgomery Ward and Sears, if a child in those days owned a doll, it was most likely a Campbell Soup Kid. In 1928, the American Character Doll Company took over producing the dolls in chef coats, which made a huge deal in advertisements. In the 1930s, the Campbell Kid creator Grace Drayton designed a set of dolls with the same nature named Bobby Bounce and the Dolly Dimple dolls. In 1954, after little use of the dolls in advertisement, they were brought back with a bang for the 50th birthday and still carry on today. So this doll I got at a yard sale, and man, it needs a good washing, but I'm afraid to put it in the wash to destroy anything. I don't know. I could like hand soak it, just haven't got around to it, but I guess I will. But isn't this thing too cute? I just love it. And I actually own a couple Dolly Dinkum dolls that I will do a video on for you so you can see what they look like, because I'm obsessed. And I feel like this is where the Q Baby got its inspiration from. Okay, so next I have totally forgot I even had this doll. It was like shoved in between two other dolls, and I had bought this at least 3 years ago and totally forgot about it. It's so cute. I must have been like late night sleepy shopping, but this doll is too cute. I think I got her for my smart doll to hold because she's like a little mini panel doll, and I just think it's cute because she has like little saggy boobies, and she was advertised as a Russian panel doll, but look at her little chin. When I look at this doll, it reminds me of how I want to look like when I'm older. I want to be a comfy old lady with an apron on, cooking for my loved ones, and having a big smile on my face with my double chin and my long ponytail. I hope I have a long ponytail. I have like absolutely no hair right now, but this girl will go great with pictures with my smart doll. I love little dolls like this and little creations, and this girl was created in Russia. I swear that's why I bought her. Next we have Wee Baby Stella. Wee Baby Stella is from a company called the Manhattan Toy Company. And the Manhattan Toy Company was invented from a man called Francis Goldwyn. Francis Goldwyn came over from California to New York to start a couple of toy companies. And after a few flops, he had a hit in 1984 with a floppy dinosaur. And the rest is history. He's in all kind of stores like Neiman Marcus, Bloomingdale's, and FAO Schwartz. So this is a company that I actually own a few things from. I have a few stuffies, and I also have an astronaut little baby Stella. So I just love it. This little girl is called the Happy Camper, and she comes with a pacifier. She comes with marshmallow and a campfire and a little, like, I don't know, it's like a little scarf around her neck. But how cute is she? She has her boots and her orange fall, it's like fall looking dress on. This is her little fire. Hi, this is the cutest thing I ever seen. When I seen this, I said I need this in my room. She sits on a shelf with the other Wee Baby Stella I have, and they're both like chilling by the fire, and this is just like so fun looking. I just love it. Look at them two together. Hi, I'm roasting my marshmallows. Yep, so if you don't have a Wee Baby Stella in your collection, you definitely need one. They have all different kinds of different ones if you go on the site. Okay, so next up is Eloise, and this doll is by the toy company Yote Toy, which is toy spelt backwards and then frontwards. Originally a book written in 1955 by Kay Thompson and illustrated by Hilary Knight, this immediate sensation was characterized as a book for precocious grown-ups. Eloise is a privileged city child as she lives in the famed Plaza Hotel in New York City. With unparalleled curiosity, imagination, and daring spirit, Eloise's popularity has gone far beyond her years. The character was developed by the author using her imaginary friend in her alter ego from when she was younger, and it is also speculated that she used her goddaughter, Liza Minnelli, as the model for Eloise. Eloise has an absent mother and a close relationship with her nanny and her dog, Weenie, her turtle, Skipperty, and the staff at the Plaza Hotel, where she makes a lot of mischief. She struck a chord as she ran around getting into trouble at the time when role models for women and children were June Cleaver and Donna Reed. Eloise became a phenomenon, becoming toys, dolls, and even a song written by Thompson. To her dying day, she never said it was a child's book. It offended her that people considered it that. And according to many, Thompson didn't even like children at all much. She would go to bookstores and take stacks of her books out of the juvenile section and put them in the grown-up section and walk out. In 1956, Hilary Knight, the illustrator, painted a portrait of Eloise and donated it to the Plaza Hotel, where it hung until 1960 when it was stolen. They even had offered an award for it. 2 years later, Hillary got a call telling him the portrait was in a dumpster. By the 1960s, Thompson had grew tired of the Eloise character and had taken 3 books out of publication and just left the original. Those closest to her described Thompson as a difficult and controlling woman. She grew addicted to drugs and was supported by her goddaughter, Liza Minnelli, for the last 20 years of her life. But it was said that she had never lost her wit. Knight drew a picture of Thompson before her death in July 7, 1998. It says, "I am Eloise," with Thompson knocking the doll off of a chair. Hillary said that she did feel that way, and she did knock the doll off the chair. Okay, so next up we have Scentsy Buddies. Guys, Scentsy Buddies was introduced in 2010. They are soft and they are filled with fragrance. Scentsy Buddies were created for children from the wax melt family-friendly company Scentsy. They are stuffed animals or stuffed characters or stuffed dolls with wide bottoms and cylinder-shaped arms and legs. They have zipper design pockets on the bottoms, and it can hold your favorite Scentsy pack, so it will smell so good. There are over 100 Scentsy Buddies released, with Boris the Yeti and Gilly the Monster being the most unique and popular because their design is in the front instead of the bottom. And today we have Sally. As you can see, Sally is from The Nightmare Before Christmas. She is the third Scentsy Buddy that I got. Here is her Scentsy pack, and you can see this was around Halloween when I got her, so I got a Halloween scented one. It's spicy and it still smells, and she has her little cylinder legs and her big fat bottom, and she is just adorable. I love her hair, the little red material they use. It's almost it's not corduroy, but it looks like it's corduroy. It's nice and soft. And she's got her little ragdoll dress, and I just love her. She's nice and bright for my room and adds a lot of color. Now, next is Dolly. This is Dolores. I named her Dolores after one of my favorite characters in a book I read, and I just love her. I call her Dolly. I bring her everywhere with me because Wednesdays with Gilly had given me the idea to bring her along with me when I travel because she's soft and she's not going to break, and I can use her as a pillow, and I could put my money in her bottom or my card or any sort of valuables I could put inside of her and carry her with me. So I really, really adore this doll. I have taken her on many trips with me, and I will take her on many more. Guys, these Scentsy Buddies are amazing for anybody, adults or kids. I suggest buying one for your loved one ASAP. Okay, next we have Precious Moments, guys. Precious Moments was created by an artist named Samuel J. Butchers. Born on January 1st, 1939, he was the third of 5 children who grew up in a very poor family. Living in Redding, California, Sam's days were spent drawing and sketching under the dining room table. His talents were recognized very early by his family and friends, but because the family was so poor, drawing materials were hard to come by. However, Sam was clever and collected rolls of paper from a close-by factory dump. Sam's most fondest memories are from his grandmothers telling him Bible stories. Having a deep interest in all things spiritual, he started painting scenes from the Bible. During the school years, he studied hard and won awards, but all that wasn't enough to fill his emptiness he felt inside. And then one night at church, he heard the good news of the salvation, and he responded to the invitation and asked Jesus to come into his heart. And from that day forth, he decided to only use his talents to serve the Lord. To convey his message, Sam began drawing endearing teardrop-eyed children, and he called them Precious Moments. And in 1975, the inspirational greeting cards were introduced. And by 1978, the Precious Moment figures were unveiled. But what really filled Sam's heart was the building of his Precious Moments Chapel in 1989, where millions of visitors have come to admire his work and share his faith. Never forgetting his humble beginnings, he remains a quiet family man. So this girl I found in a flea market that was going out of business, and all the way in the back at this flea market was a ton of Precious Moments dolls that I rescued. And I decided to keep this one for myself because I love anything by Applause, the company Applause in the 80s. And this girl is like a bedtime girl. She definitely spoke to me when I seen her because she has her hair in curlers. She's got her pajamas on. She's got her mirror. And I love that she had her tag still. And look at her freaking little slippers. Oh my goodness. And she has a little belly that I just adore, like a little pot belly. And inside of her locket is the most precious thing ever. God loves me anyhow. I need that tattooed on me because I need to hear that every single day. Look at this belly. I love it. It just pokes out like a little baby. But yeah, so this girl's very precious in my collection, and I really do love what Precious Moments is all about. I love Faith. I don't know where I would be without mine. Next is my mask face doll. I have a couple of mask face dolls, but they are in like clown form. This is my only mask face doll that's an actual face of a doll. And these mask face dolls were made from the 1910s to the 1940s, and they were usually cloth dolls, all cloth dolls, and they would have like a mask face, and it was an inexpensive way to make a pretty and high detailed face for your doll. The process of making this mask was first introduced by Albert Bruckner. I'm probably saying that wrong. And he did this process in the US in 1901. Although lithograph cloth faces have been used for dolls for some years, Bruckner's process gave dimension to what was previously a flat face. A British patent for a molded face cloth doll was granted to Dean's Rag Book Company in 1913 for their true-to-life dolls. Soon there were a number of American doll-making companies who offered a wide variety of styles and characters with mask faces. And by the 1930s, popular doll companies like Madame Alexander were now offering mask face dolls. I personally love cloth mask face dolls because they brought a lot of joy through the Depression. And for the last doll we're going to talk about today for Afterthoughts is the 1997's Tycho Rosie O'Donnell talking doll. Guys, this doll is pretty iconic, especially in my life, seeing I have picked this doll up at least 3 times from a yard sale, and I've given it away for a gift, and I always seem to find this doll at a yard sale, and this one I'm keeping for myself because she's actually signed by Rosie O'Donnell, so I was like, I'm keeping this. But let's talk a little bit about Rosie. Rosie O'Donnell was born on March 21st, 1962 in New York. And she had her breakout in 1984 on Star Search. After a series of TV and film roles, she hosted her own talk show called The Rosie O'Donnell Show between 1996 and 2002. And she won several daytime TV awards. She developed the nickname Queen of Nice for her reputation of philanthropy. I said that wrong as well. So at the time, Rosie O'Donnell's show was soaring. It was doing so well. And at that time, any product that she had on her show would sell out immediately. So Tycho brought Tickle Me Elmo to the show because it was not doing well in sales because of the competing with the dinosaur Barney. So she brought Tickle Me Elmo on the show, and then the Tickle Me Elmo Black Friday extravaganza came about, and that was all due to Rosie O'Donnell. So to thank Rosie, Tycho came out with a doll like this and gave it to her for her birthday. But then Rosie O'Donnell took it a step further and said, why don't you make a bunch of these and sell them, and we will donate all of it to All Kids Foundations, raising over $5 million. I love Rosie O'Donnell. I've always loved her in movies. I think she's hilarious. And now I love her on TikTok, especially when she says, tickety talk, you don't stop. I crack up. This doll is in good condition. The only thing is she doesn't talk anymore. The voice box is broken. So guys, that is the end of my afterthoughts video on the evolution of the ragdoll. I do have 2 more videos coming out with this series, so stay tuned for those. And if you like this video, please press like, subscribe, and I'll see you later.